in the place to be.
What's up? I'm Bowlegged Lou from Full Force, and just want to talk about a great man. February 2nd, 2012 was when the legendary Don Cornelius took his life. He will always be remembered and never, ever forgotten. I'm just so happy to say that I was a friend of Don Cornelius. I'm so happy to say, and proud and honored to say, he was a friend of mine as well. Always connected with Don on a big way. When Full Force was on Soul Train in 1985, 86, that was the beginning of a friendship, because that album that we did, which was our debut album, Full Force, and the song Alice, I Want You Just For Me, was one of Don's favorite musical pieces, and he told us this.
Girl, you tie me up in knots, Soul Train hits the spot.
We just sung it in a cappella, and a lot of people in America got to see Don Cornelius dance for the first or second time ever. You gotta watch him as he starts doing a little Don Cornelius dance with the Jerry curls just dripping down our face.
Here we go. Hold on.
I want you just for me.
It was like a dream come true. I'm like, man, I'm on the stage in Soul Train, we're getting ready to meet Don Cornelius and the Soul Train Scramble Board and the fine Soul Train dancers like Rosie Perez and Nisi the Pumper Payne. I said Payne, she's so fine. You know, Sally from the Valley, my boy Louis Carr. The Soul Train dancers was crazy. You had to meet Joe Freeman and Jeffrey Daniels, and what an institution. The inspiration, the influence. One thing about Mr. Don Cornelius, the Big D, that's what we always called him. He supported us just like we supported him all the time. And the thing about it is not just on Soul Train, but just the person that he is. If it was somebody that we produced, if it was an act of ours, Don always had them on Soul Train. He supported us with Full Force, of course. He supported us with Lisa and Cult Jam, UTFO, Cheryl Pepsi Riley. And he supported us with a brand new group at the time, girl group, by the name of Ex-Girlfriend. I didn't even have to go through a record company or nothing like that. I would just let the record company know, but I would call Don Cornelius myself. I had his home number, I had his office number, I had his cell phone. That's how much I treasured him.
What's up?
Come on, man. Yeah, right.
Now, this is our a little chat, man. You know?
Right. Just as usual.
No.
Same tie from 2 years ago. I'd always joke about Don and his ties. I always said that his ties was, old-fashioned, and I would tell him that even without the cameras rolling. I said, Don, it was 1912 tie. What are you doing, man? He can get ribbed, he can get it thrown at him, and he can dish it out. We just.
That was kind of low down, Lou.
Okay, I'm sorry, man. Let me just hook you up right here.
I never mentioned.
What? You never mentioned what?
I never mentioned what your real name is.
Please.
It ain't Bowlegged, I tell you that.
I thought he was gonna tell my birth name on Soul Train one time, because he knows my birth name, and I thought he was gonna tell it one time. I'm like, don't do that, Don. I would always call to check on Don, when he had his stroke, and whenever it was his birthday, anything, I would just call him just because. Through the ups and through the down periods. Yo, Don, you okay? I'm just checking on you. We would kick it, we would talk about all kinds of things. He was a very modest brother. When TV1's Unsung did the documentary showing us the Full Force story, the award-winning Unsung, who just won Image Award, NAACP Image Award, congratulations. We did it last year, 2012. We started getting people for the show. So we got Lisa and UTFO, and Cheryl Pepsi Riley, and Blair Underwood, and Questlove. We call these people to be part of our show. And when I told the producers that I wanted to get Don Cornelius, they said, oh, no, that's not going to happen. We've tried so many times and he's always turned us down. If you ever look at Unsung, a lot of the performances that you see on the shows is always done on Soul Train. You know what I mean? So, but they tried to get Don for interviews and he just wouldn't do it. He just didn't want to do it. He was just retired. But I said, let me call him. I think he'll do it for us because he's a good friend. And they said, we've heard that before. But I made a phone call to Don Cornelius, and when I spoke to him, I told him, and he said, okay, enough. Listen, I owe them a bunch because they're always asking me. I owe TV1 and Unsung. So if I have to pay them back with a show, to be on the show, I'm going to do it for full force. Because you always looked out for me, you always check on me, Lou, and I don't take that for granted. And you know, when he said that meant a lot to us. And his last public appearance was for Full Force's TV1 Unsung.
Well, I liked that they were so outgoing, and I also liked that they were so friendly, and they were thoughtful people, which you don't get from a lot of people in the entertainment business. They would remember your birthday, or they would remember holidays, and they would, you know, get in touch, and you didn't mind talking to them because they were so they were so real. They were so outgoing.
One thing I know, he has tremendous respect for Full Force. You know, he really loved us, and we loved him. I never thought he got his just desserts when he was alive. I thought it could have been bigger, you know what I mean? The way they treated Dick Clark made Dick rest in peace because we knew Dick well, but I just thought Don should have got even more accolades when he was alive. You know, give him the flowers when he was alive. Of course, a lot of tributes and stuff came when he passed away, which of course is normal and you expect that. But when he was alive, I feel he should have got it. Billions of tributes. We were holding a special screening for the documentary, a pre-screening in Los Angeles. The day before, Don Cornelius had said he was coming. He was excited to come, to be a part, to support. And he called in at the last minute and said he couldn't make it. You know, an emergency came up. So he never made it. But what I did is that I still shouted him out, gave him props, and we had a special plaque made for Don Cornelius, special plaque that we brought to present to him that night. But he wasn't there, so we didn't get to present it to him. And then a few days later is when he passed away. Was able to give that plaque to his son, Tony Cornelius. And my thing is that, once again, we just always love to celebrate him while he's alive. And it's good that we celebrate him while he's up in heaven, because we just love Don Cornelius. You know, I don't know if everybody understands. You know, the reason why I say that, you know, when Don was alive, he didn't get his just desserts the way I think he should have, and to get more accolades while he was alive. I'm not knocking anything for him getting tributes, you know, while he's passed, because that's just due. But do you know what this man has created, especially for the urban crowd? I mean, what TV show at that time had black commercials? Come on! Afro Sheen, you know, Soul Sheen, and just to put that in the consciousness of America was a great thing. The music stars, from Stevie Wonder to my favorite group in the world, The Temptations, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Sly and the Family Stone, James Brown. I mean, Don Cornelius had it all. And for a lot of those black performers that couldn't get on other TV shows, Don Cornelius set that platform. Soul Train was the longest running, first run, nationally syndicated program in television history. That means, and its first run, that means was longer than Sesame Street, I Love Lucy, The Honeymooners. Those were reruns, you know, Saturday Night Live. That's a network show. Don Cornelius' Soul Train, first run, longest nationally syndicated program in television history. More than Bonanza, more than Mod Squad, more than Star Trek, more than television show in history was Soul Train. It'll never be forgotten, and Don Cornelius is all in his brain. I'm so glad that I taught him everything he knew. Don will always just be very special to us, and special to us in heaven, the Soul Train of heaven. And when he was alive, we celebrate him. When he's passed away, we celebrate him. We'll always celebrate Mr. Don Cornelius. We love you, D.